Crew with NGK. I'm Nicole.
I'm Grace.
Karina.
Karina. I feel like we should add that on all the time.
All the time.
She's so cute.
She's just adorable. We love her.
Before we get into anything, y'all, forget about the caption, forget about the title. I just want to acknowledge that we have been doing this podcast thing. You guys have been watching for 1 whole year.
A whole year.
That's 365 days. And I want to shout you guys out and say thank you to you guys for honestly just tuning in and for rocking with us and enjoying the conversations that we have for a solid year. That's a long time. So we're going to grab a drink. We'll pause for a second. Grab whatever you choose. It could be wine. It could be beer. It could be a cocktail. It could be a mixed drink. Whatever that is. Grab your drinks, and we're gonna cheers to 1 year.
Cheers to 1 year, ladies.
Excuse me, Karina. Thank you. 1 year of amazing discussions and meeting some great guests and exploring different topics, right?
Yeah, it's the guest for me.
It's the guest, and we've heard your feedback. We've gotten all your feedback.
Yeah.
Talking over each other. We're working on it.
We're working on it.
You know.
All the things. What else do we hear? I can't remember all the feedback, but trust me.
Certain guests to bring back. Certain things about the background, where we shoot, how we shoot, audio,
how we look, and you know, everything that we need to improve on.
Topic suggestions.
Topic suggestions have been great, and just thank you for writing with us. This came out of just friends hanging out in the summertime and reconnecting through mutual friends. And so many people are still asking after today, how do y'all meet? Please watch that first episode.
Watch the first episode.
Formation. We explained that, but we're gonna just quickly explain that right now again, how we met, because some people don't know. They're like, I've never seen her. They're like, why do we need to see each other and whatnot? Let's tell you how we know each other, okay?
Yep.
So Karina and I went to college in 2003. I'm
Jeez,
bored.
what are you aging me for?
Lord.
We went to college together.
Went to GSC together, and let's leave it at that. You're
Whatever,
right. And
we're like you old.
I will say like we're aging like fine.
It was in 2003 though.
I went to because I came to Canada in 2001.
Okay, you know what?
And then and then I went in.
Was it 2003?
But maybe we went at different years, but we were together one of the years because I was there until 2006.
Oh my gosh, I was starting high school in 2004.
Yeah, you're like a baby.
I was starting high school in 2004, and y'all were going to college.
Because I graduated. Yeah, I took another program and I graduated 2000 and such and such. But
such and such. So we met then, and honestly, we just kept seeing each other in parties and events, and we always hailed each other up. And like honestly, Karina has been just a real one from time. And so during summer, during COVID, we reconnected, and I was doing a Sunday social. And her and I just started reconnecting, and she was stuck with me through the Sunday socials when we started with Marvin, and then Nicole. I know Nicole through the brother, Shadow Michael. You know, I mean, shy as hell, but like one of the best people. Like I love him so much, and so him and I part all the time. And then we decided let's invite Nicole to the Sunday socials. We did not know how dope Nicole is. Like we had no idea how vocal she is. We had no idea how she's unapologetic. So it just made sense that we all do this together. And you know, and during our busy schedules, we use this as our social light. We use this as our social outlet because we all are so busy. And this is our turn-up time, but we're not gonna bore you with that. We're just gonna say thank you for sticking by.
Thank you.
For those that are asking, go back to formation. You know.
There you go. And then what we didn't touch on is how Karina and I know each other is that we used to work out at the same gym through a mutual friend, and we did a fitness photo shoot. Believe it or not, y'all, I haven't been to the gym in like a year or so. Hold that. Hold your opinions. Hold your thoughts. Okay. All right. I'm sucking in my stomach right here while I'm sitting right down on this couch. Don't even watch that. But anyways, we did a fitness photo shoot together at a gym back in what was that, like 2015?
Around 2015, yeah.
Around 2015, and that's how I know Karina. And then I didn't even know Karina and Grace knew each other.
I know, that was a weird
small
thing.
world.
And that's how we discovered that through these Sunday socials, where we just linked up on Zoom throughout the pandemic on Sundays to just connect, network, and have some fun. So and
the rest is
been a good journey throughout this year, man. Learned a lot, connected with these beautiful ladies, and it's been fun.
Listen, I will say, I don't know about y'all, but you know, everybody's gonna touch on what they've learned about themselves through this podcast. For me, I've just learned how your opinion really doesn't matter. And there's so many opinions out there, and you know, and these, like, I have grown so much as a person, believe it or not, just through conversations and meeting guests and exploring. I'm like, oh my God, I thought like this is how people really thought, but no, there's this way of thinking, there's this way of life. That's what I learned. What did you learn, too?
Yeah, kind of similar to what you learned in the sense that, you know, we touch on a lot of topics that don't necessarily come out all the time. We're kind of touching controversial topics and things of that sort. And where I'm a very opinionated person, you guys already know. I have very strong views. It's interesting to kind of just sit down sometimes and shut up and listen and kind of humble myself and hear the other views and opinions and all of that from different perspectives. So it's been good.
Yeah, how about
Same
you?
for me. Same for me. Is just learning about whether it be real estate or businesses and stuff like that. It's just like it's been like a learning process. I feel like you're always learning. Like you never stop learning. So it's been good.
I will say for Karina, I'll add on to her what I've seen through Karina's improvement in life in general. Karina is not a talkative person, okay?
I am though.
You will never get.
Yes, like,
but in public, from when we started.
Well, with you guys though.
The
thing is, I'm social with like people that I really know. And I've always had the same friends.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
But I'm glad you noticed I've opened up with you guys.
You have. And just not even just us, like the public too. Like, you know, just like
I'm a private person. Like, you guys are knowing all my business now.
All the things. And you know what? Through that, there are people that have a Karina type of personality that, you know, have learned a lot as well and have been encouraged who can relate to you and stuff like that. So there's definitely a personality for everybody out there. Anyways, cheers to that. We're going to get a...
Karina's cute when she's uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
Like, I love just taking it all in.
And she's like, she just...
Okay, well, we're going to roll into our questions for today.
Okay.
We're back on our favorite topic, relationships.
Always. Love it.
And a fan fave, too, clearly.
And a fan favorite.
Y'all love this.
Damn. You guys love the slackness. You love when we talk about
Let me tell you.
When do you
Sex and relationships.
When do you guys feel is the right time to introduce your significant other to your family? Or friends?
That's so tough. I think the older I'm getting, I want to wait until, depending on when we started dating, if it's like a week before Thanksgiving, definitely next Thanksgiving, next year. If it's like a few months before Thanksgiving, maybe during Thanksgiving or during Christmas. If it's like 6 months in, I don't know. It depends on the flow of the relationship. If I'm still not sure at 6 months, but I know this is the one, I won't introduce that yet. You know, sometimes, you know, in a year, I think it depends on the flow, but what do you think? When do you introduce?
I feel like there's never a right time.
There's never a right time.
It's when you feel comfortable, but like, it's so funny because the men that I have dated, like, I'll be like, okay, you want to come to, they're like, do you want to come to a barbecue? Like my dad's barbecue or whatever. And they're like, oh, what is this, my coming out party? Like, it's one of those things. But like, I feel is whenever you feel comfortable is, you know, there's never a right time.
How about you, Nicole? Like, would you introduce?
I agree with that. So I wouldn't put a specific amount of time on it, but it's more so about the chemistry. It's more so where you're at in your relationship, what your plan is for one another. And I feel like you know when it's the right time to introduce someone to your family. So I just go based on feeling. And
like how comfortable we are, I guess, in the relationship per se.
Yeah.
Because you want to just... You know, you don't want to be that serial dater. Like, you know what I mean? It's like another one.
And everybody's like...
And families, especially the older we get, like, they're like expecting.
Oh,
so is this the one?
But you don't want to have your family members...
way too excited. If she even hears I'm going out with someone, she's like, okay, when are you going to bring him to me?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, we just went on one date. Like, relax.
You don't have them fumbling over names either. It's like, oh, Johnny, sorry, Steve, how's it going? You know?
Yo, I found it lately, even my brother is getting hype if I go out. Like, just even on one date, he's like, okay, so what's going on? I'm like, chill.
That's so cute.
That's not even in his nature, but I think because I'm getting older, he's like, all right, what's going on? What's good?
He's probably happy for you, too. He wants to see you happy and stuff.
Too much so. But yeah, I find a specific amount of time is hard to stick by because it depends on the stage that you're at in your life and then what the chemistry is and what your plan is.
How much time do you guys feel is the right amount of time to spend with your partner a week?
Oh, man.
How do you fit them into your busy schedules? And
I find that tough, especially, I know that's tough for all of us. I know, I think that all the three of us, I think we could speak to, I can barely see my girlfriends now.
Yeah, I think there's always time that you can squeeze in. but you're sacrificing something.
Yeah.
So are you at a stage in that relationship where you're willing to sacrifice X thing, right? I don't think there's a fixed number of days or set amount of time. I think it's depending on what you do, depending on what your significant other does, and you know what you're willing to
sacrifice.
Exactly, sacrifice.
I mean, people make time for what they want. So you know what? You
I
can
really
always.
think that.
I'm super busy during my day, but if I really like you, I'm messaging you throughout the entire day.
Right.
Like, we're talking.
Yeah.
But then I've also sacrificed work. Like, I'll notice where I'm spending way too much time with you on the phone late at night, and then I wake up and like
so exhausted.
my projects are slacking.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's when I'm
That's
just like, I'm
happened
like,
to- oh
okay,
my
can't do that.
Me too. And then you can't function at work.
You
Because
can't function at work.
Yeah.
So there has to be some sort of compromise, you know.
Yeah. It's like proximity too. Like, do you live
That
down the
too.
street or do you live in Brampton and I live in Ajax,
Not
right?
Brampton.
I don't know. I threw that out there. It's like, what's the proximity? How many kilometers is it from me? Because that will determine how often I see you as well. Like you said, we're all working women. We're all busy women. It's like, okay, do you live down the street where I can pop in and just say goodnight to you real quick and we have a couple of drinks and then say goodnight? Or am I having to trek 45-minute drive? Because that's going to be very different.
And that's time to drive to you, to chill with you, and to come back and like chill with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's different.
But my problem is now is like, as I get older, it's like I have less of a compromise to do that. It's just like, you know what? I'll see you on the weekend.
I'll see you like when I'm free.
I won't really want to see you, and it might be hurting my relationships, but it's just like, you honestly don't have the energy anymore. Like you used to when you were younger, you know, where you could stay up late, but
like
we can't say late. We can't say past 2 a.m. After 2 a.m., I'm tapped out.
It's down to what you decide to prioritize. Are you prioritizing your functionality at work when you wake up in the morning feeling well rested, that feeling, or seeing your significant other, the person you're dating? Like, what's more important to you?
No, 100%. For sure.
It's hard to balance it all. Like, you're waking up, you're working. Obviously, like, I know this sounds funny, but you have to calculate, you know, how much time does it take to eat and prepare your food.
It's true.
Like, there's only so many hours in a day.
There's only so many hours. It's not like you want to be
and
a
then
planner.
travel time, travel time, and then
the gym,
you have a social life,
kids.
You're working out, you have kids. It's like, okay, how many hours am I really left with in order to contribute to a relationship or seeing this person?
Because you will have to compromise at some point if you want it to be successful. Or if you want it to
I've struggled with that. I'm not gonna lie.
I struggle with that.
Really hard.
Struggle with that in relationships because sometimes it's very obvious your partner knows that obviously your business and career comes first. Like I've been told that before. Like it's obvious that I need to know that I'm second when I come to this relationship, and it's conflicting because you're just like, is that a bad thing? I don't know if it's like a backhanded compliment. Like, you know, are you okay with that? Because this is not going to change until you know. So
I don't necessarily put my work before my significant other though. I'm inclined to put my significant other before my work.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing that comes first is my kids. Then my significant other. Then
Really?
work. Then work. I mean, like,
no,
work
but when
same
do you-
there.
Same for me.
I feel like, to me, it depends how long we're together and what our
course.
intentions are.
Yes.
If now we're getting to the point where it's a serious relationship, we made it official, this is our partnership, we're investing in a few things together.
Yep.
Obviously, you're going to become a priority at one point.
Okay.
But until then, like, I got to take care of myself and I got to protect myself. 'Cause
Absolutely,
Until I know that this is a
Of course,
real partnership.
work is first before everything.
It's
there's
solid.
A lot of,
and then when it's
solidified.
solid, then
100%.
relationship has to take over.
Of course. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It depends on the stage you're at.
A little off topic, but what about
Sure.
privacy and boundaries in a relationship? Do you allow your man to go through your emails, your phone?
Emails?
Your
Ooh,
emails.
emails, we're pushing you with the
phone.
emails. Like, you let emails.
Even
That's
hell
too
no.
much.
Like, I feel as if that's your personal space. This is my personal space.
I believe in. I don't want to. I don't want to know. I don't want to know your password. I'm cool.
I don't want nobody's password.
If it comes to the point where you feel the need to go through emails, text messages,
Then don't
phone
be in that
history,
relationship.
that relationship is already
It's
sinking.
already sinking.
Exactly. You know,
And at that
you're
point,
crazy.
I'm not
Crazy.
interested.
Yeah.
The thing is,
that's
I'm
too
not gonna
much.
lie. I've done it in my 20s when I was younger. And the thing is, if you search, you will find. It could be anything, but you can.
But I hate when people say that if you search, you'll
You
find
do.
things.
You will.
No.
You
When
will.
stop. When I'm in a relationship, you could search, you will not find, because I am like for that person.
But you know what it is?
It's
the thing
more,
is, it's perception of a text message. It could be like
it could be something
a close
simple.
friend just saying something stupid to
like,
you.
It
But I don't have male friends. If I'm in a
be-
relationship, actually, forget about in a relationship. I don't have male friends, period.
Oh, okay.
So
that's
there's
why.
nothing to find.
It's different for you. I have so many.
But excuse me, you guys don't have male friends either.
We do.
I told you guys.
male friends.
No.
What are you talking about?
I told you
they're
guys this
not my real
already.
friends. They all want to
Listen.
get with me, right?
Exactly. There's no such thing as
No.
male friends. Let me tell you something. If
Your
you have
brother is a male
friend,
friend.
he's not your friend.
He's
not your friend. I'm gonna tell you why.
Michael and
I'm
I
gonna tell you why he's not your friend. I'm
Kakito
gonna tell you why he's not.
Panidong
Listen, male friendships exist in only circumstances, in only a few circumstances. Okay, so in one case,
your brother.
No,
family.
he's not
It's
your
a
friend.
family right
Babes,
now.
he's not your friend. Okay, so actually, this is so funny because I had this discussion just earlier today. So either the man wants to have sex with a woman, the woman wants to have sex with a man, or both. They had sex in the past, or one or the other is interested in pursuing the person on a relationship
I disagree.
level.
Or have
There is no
It's
or have in the past. There's
You
no
see
circumstance
your
where I'm going
brother
to see some.
I'm not his type at all. Like he's a.
Let me tell you something.
Like he's an introvert.
How often do you hang out with Michael?
You know.
Do we want to put your brother on the spot, right?
Like I'm just saying.
No,
that, like, I don't
that's
think we
fine.
should
How
do
often do you hang out with Michael?
like we don't hang out. Like we talk quite a bit. Like you know what I mean. That's a home.
Where? Where and when? You guys are not friends. The only time you'll have a legitimate friendship, not like, okay, you talk. The only time you'll have a legitimate friendship is where one of those circumstances exists. One person wants to sleep with the other person, they've already slept together, or they want to pursue a relationship. There's no, I've tried male friends. It's never worked because somebody wants to have sex with somebody, or somebody wants to be with somebody. It never works.
True. I think every single male that I know, it's not. They either want to mess with me.
He probably wants to mess with you.
Okay.
Probably.
He probably does.
Probably.
Like if you were to hit him up right now, like, hey.
First of all, it will never go
it away tonight.
It will never go.
But maybe in the past, though. Maybe in the past you would have.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But on the basis of them liking me, wanting to bone me, or, vice versa.
I can't even argue that because I'm not in their guy. I'm not in
I
the
do
guy's
think
mind.
that you can get past that.
You can get
phase,
past
though.
it. Yeah,
I do
okay,
think that
okay.
you can get past that and really
But
do
the
have a
initial,
platonic
like,
friendship.
But
initially, it forms from a level of interest.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the dynamic and capacity of that interest, but it's like it starts from that, and then perhaps if nothing goes anywhere, then you can build from there. If both parties are willing, which is rare.
Agree.
Like I've tried to have male friends, and when I said I'm not interested, they've shut me down and said I'm not interested in a friendship. Every time. I promise. Every time. It's never happened. So, I mean, maybe you're just more cool than I am, and you're more fun to be around, because clearly no one wants to be my friend.
No,
you're fun to be around.
I have one guy friend.
Joking, Grace.
I know.
He helps me so much in my house and stuff like that, and I'm like, you're like one of my good friends. He's like,
You think
we're not friends. He's like, let me make it clear, we're not friends because I want you. At the end of the day, I still want you.
Wow.
You see?
This is very
He's helping
clear
you
with
out
it.
because he's waiting for his
He's
chance.
waiting for his
Like, yeah, I'm gonna
chance.
help you out in the house for now.
Then
But
if
I'm
you know
waiting.
that, this is what I think women should do sometimes. You know that that's a guy's motive, and they've also made it clear. Don't put him in a situation where he's gonna
No, I don't lie.
hopefully.
So what does that mean? Like,
don't
should
even
Karina cut him
let
off?
No, don't be friends, but don't let him help out in the house. Don't let him come over. That's a
But
tease.
he just made it clear to her that he's not her friend.
He's
and that's the
still
thing
gonna
too.
help me out in my
Men
house.
will bend over left, right, and center to do things for you, even though you've said I'm not interested.
No, but he knows though. He knows
They'll
he's
do
still a
things.
good friend at the end of the day.
Like,
Because
no matter
you're
what
friends with
happens.
you have to be friends with your lover at the end of the day, right?
Sure.
And we've
Okay.
already said that. I always make my boundaries clear. Like,
Does he have a chance, Karina?
Does he have a chance?
I want to shoot him down on the show though.
Yeah.
So he does not have a chance.
He doesn't have a chance.
Whoever
so
you are
he's
doing
been
stuff
shut
at
down.
Karina's house. Oh my God, you're
Just lost my maintenance
Whoever
man.
it is, whoever you are doing work at Karina's house.
I just lost my maintenance man.
That's the meanest man
I
right
love
there.
him. I love him. At the end of the day, I love him. Maybe there's, maybe.
But like, should we be honest? Should we be honest about that? Like, where do we draw the line?
Next question.
I feel like this is a topic we should do a deep dive into, because a lot of men are clueless. You guys don't want to do a deep dive.
The Cole's like,
Because
what?
you know where that's going to go. And a lot of men have already been hurt by comments on this show.
Okay,
and
fine.
There's already been questions. So I need to tread lightly. Anyway, so I'm going to go right deep into a whole deeper topic. And, first of all, disclaimer, we haven't done a lot of research on this, but it's a question that I was asked, and I thought it was dope to bring it up to amongst us women. And I hope we have men on the show that could kind of elaborate some more. So attachment styles is such a huge, huge conversation. And I think when people start dating or getting to know each other, everyone disregards that. It wants to see how good we look on the first day, what we're going to eat, how much we're going to eat. But really, no one asks these questions, So statistically, it's been said that between the ages of 0 to 5 or 7 to 10 years old, at that time, based on what happened to you in that time period of your life, it does determine how you're going to act in a future relationship, whether it's 1, 2, or so many times, right? Now, during that course of time, though, after 10 years old or 12 years old, apparently, trajectory could change. So many events could happen in your life as well that could determine how you act around a man or a woman, right? However, 0 to 5, 7 to 10 is what the main statistic is. And this determines your attachment style. So we're in the process of learning about it, and we would like to bring experts on or other people that have experienced different variations of it. However, 3 of the top attachment styles that we wanted to cover today, briefly, just to see where we stand and just to bring the conversation, is the first attachment style is avoidance, right? And pretty much in definition, avoidance, or in a summary, avoidance means, that guy or girl that is never committed to anything, not just a relationship. Barely could respond or barely could say what they want, what they enjoy to eat. Everything is just very much so, it is what it is. I go with the vibe, you already know what time it is. I'm going to feel that's the avoidance because they're afraid of commitment of any sort. And then there is the anxious attachment style. And an anxiety type of personality is someone that needs to know at all times how the relationship is going, the trajectory of it, where it needs to be, where it needs to go at what time. And, if you contact a guy, if you call them, they didn't call back, hey, what happened? Hey, did something go wrong? That's considered, which I didn't even know, that's an anxiety type of personality. And then there's a secure type of personality. And I'm really literally barely touching the surface on these conversations, as you could tell. Yeah. And then there's a security, or that secure attachment style, where you're good. Honestly, you're talking to somebody, you start talking, you're dating. It could be 2 weeks, y'all don't hear from each other. It is what it is. Oh, what's up? What's popping? All right, yeah, we'll pull up. And it's literally no emotions. They're just secure. They're just it is what it is. If it doesn't work out, it works out. If it works out, it works out. So, with that said, where do you stand based on that? It doesn't have to be right, it doesn't have to be accurate, just how you feel in relationships.
In terms of how I feel, where I stand, or how I feel about the idea of that?
Where you stand, because this is you,
No.
We all know, we don't need to do deep research to know what avoidance is.
Yeah, I feel like I sit with avoidance.
Yeah?
I think that I avoid commitment at all costs until you really show me, until you really go super hard to show me that you are 100% about me, 100% committed, dedicated. I'll just continue to see you for as long as possible without avoiding the title of a relationship.
Okay, so let me rephrase this.
I haven't been in a relationship in a whole decade.
Okay.
There's a reason for that.
Okay.
I think it's linked to avoidance. Personally.
So with that said, let me rephrase this a little bit. So now we're all in relationships. Imagine you're in a relationship. So this is when you really break down your attachment style. You're with this person you love, right?
Okay.
And they're just around. And somehow no one is making a commitment. And everybody's kind of okay with that, but
how do you deal with it? While
that's
in
avoidance.
A relationship?
Yeah, and then the anxiety, you're in this relationship.
Oh, that's not me then. Then if I'm in a relationship, because you have to keep in mind what I just told you. Yeah. So if I make my way into a relationship, I vetted this person. I really am down for this person. They're really down for me. So if we make it into a relationship, then I'm very secure because I've done my due diligence
and pre-qualification
to make sure. Exactly. I don't even get in relationships like that to say that I would still be anxious or be, demonstrating avoidance or whatever. Like, I'm secure if I get to that point.
Okay, and how about you?
You're
in a relationship, so yeah.
I guess the mixture of secure and anxiety, anxious.
Yeah.
It's just like, because when you deal with certain traumas in past relationships, it makes you more anxious in other relationships because you don't know if that next relationship's going to be similar to it, right? Yeah. But at the same time, because I'm secure with who I am, like, if you leave, fine, at the end of the day. But sometimes I want to know what's going on. What are we doing? Like, is this going anywhere? Like,
are you guys scared too of wasting? Like, my fear is wasting time.
Yes, that's wasting
I'm
time.
terrified of wasting my time.
So then that will, I guess, be characterized. Because this is like, trust me, I was like studying this a little bit, but I couldn't get all the way deep into it.
Yeah.
And so apparently, what you just said could tie into anxiety. So apparently, everybody has all.
Yeah, we all
just
have
not
all.
one.
I feel like we all have all.
But one just kind of like the love languages, right? Remember how we had to do the love language test?
Yeah.
And everybody had to figure out like, what's your love language, right? Because I think a lot of times we assume what the other person should be doing, but we haven't communicated it. And a lot of times we expect what we haven't communicated because we think, oh, we're it. Like, they should just know. But we haven't really explained or expressed, this is how I like to be loved. Yeah. These are some of the things that I enjoy. And honestly, like, what do you like to enjoy too? Like, I'm willing to meet you halfway. Because you might do other things that you might think are good for me. But honestly, like, that is not making me happy. And to you, it's the world. To you, you took a day off to do that. And like, honestly, for me, a text message and a beautiful phrase or essay, like, that is all I need. Don't take the day off. Don't buy me flowers. Don't take me shopping. You know what I mean? So communicating that,
but
right?
It's really, we are really scratching the surface because when you say attachment styles, and you're giving the ranges from 0 to 5 and 7 to 10, like between those ages, a lot of kids unfortunately are abused. They deal with abandonment issues, and that's why they have anxiety. And that's why they have.
And honestly, speaking from a mother's perspective, I feel like I can agree with that 100%. That relationship and attachment styles are developed within those ages because when I look at my two children and having both a son and a daughter, that's where their personalities were shaped. Not much change has happened from the time that they hit 10. It's more so, focusing in on what's already been developed and established, right? And fine-tuning what's already been established. But the key fundamental areas are built in up to age 10. Yeah.
So I thought I was more on the anxiety part, but I think the avoidance actually takes precedence, no matter how social I am, no matter how much I date, because to me it's like that commitment issue, because maybe in my younger days or my first relationship, the commitment took so long. And then like after that, as much as before it's stuck, like it took a lot of work. So then every relationship I went to, I barely wanted to commit. Like I was there, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Yeah. And it's kind of like you have that like guard up on you, right? Like, and then you get older and you start forming the security, like what it is. If this person messes, like it's not up to me to force this person to stay. It's not like I'm gonna do what it takes and whatnot. But however, if I meet the right person now, then there's those questions, right? It's like, okay, well, like I messaged you at this point and this time, like we're supposed to be doing this, like what's going on, like you wanna almost. I don't want to. Controlling is the worst word, but you kind of want to make sure you're in control of your emotions.
Unfortunately, and then we also try to control the emotions of
others as well, because you want to protect yourself or protect yourself. You think that asking those questions are protecting you, but really, it could be pushing the person away.
Exactly.
I've kind of a personal question for you.
Sure. Me, Grace?
You, Grace.
Okay.
It doesn't apply to Karina.
Okay.
So this is something that like I think about oftentimes, but like. You grew up in a household without a father, without a man present. This doesn't apply to Karina. How do you feel like that impacted the way that you date and the types of men that you look for today?
Very good question. Yeah. I think for me, I didn't grow up in a standard North American family. So I went to a boarding school since I was a kid. I went to a British boarding school, right? And when you go to this boarding school, it's like it was an all-girls school, right, in Kenya. And what happens is, like, education is like a status. You see how in North America, like, money is a status first?
Yep.
And then who cares what school you went to? Yep. In Africa, like education is a status. So when your parents pay for a certain amount to go to certain schools, like you become a certain status.
Yeah.
What happens is you go to the schools and everybody, rich, poor, whatever, you could afford that private school, everybody's the same. You wear the same uniform. Like no one has time to talk about, oh, is your dad around? Because like no one even sees their parents, even people that have both parents. Because it's like a specific, it's a thing about the military when people are deployed. And they go to certain countries, right? That's what boarding schools are. So imagine growing up in a boarding school all the way until I got to North America. And it's like, boom.
How old were you when you left the boarding school?
All my life, actually, until I was 18.
Wow.
So I went to grade school. My mom was in the UK and Dubai. So we knew my dad was not around because they were divorced, but it was weird because we were just
no one's parents were around.
No one's parents were around anyways.
Yeah.
So we weren't really like you're not really thinking about like, oh, my mom's are like no. Who talks about their parents? What school are you gonna go to when you graduate? School. So this competition.
I knew you went to boarding school, but I didn't know like that you
no,
went
like,
till you were 18.
Literally, like from the time you wake up, your time is scheduled. Like you wake up at 4 a.m. Your prep school. You go to assembly at 9. At 10 o'clock is this. At 11 o'clock is physical education. At 3 o'clock, and that's every day. So every day of your life.
How often do you talk to your parents though?
You don't. It's all about, like I'm telling you, it's not like North America. Like,
so basically
school, because
so
like you're
school was life.
Like
that's
literally
it.
like I'm telling you, I graduated I graduated when I was like 16 years old. And at that time, like you are being taught things like you can't even understand, because if you go to the top school, then your parents have done well. Oh, what school did you go to? Like you see here how like where do you live in the neighborhood is more important. In Kenya, it's like what school did you go to? Because that determines what you could afford, and that's like if your parents were rich or not. Anyways,
parents aren't really parenting; they're just supporting you financially.
They're just supporting you financially. They could afford a private school. So when you're in this private school, you're with other kids, and like everybody's trying to compete against each other. Like there's so much competition in being the top of the class, and there's already elite kids, right? Wow. And there's also kids from people don't know this. East Africa is also overpopulated with like Indian cultures. They're settled there, like very affluent Indian cultures, like so the Aga Khans and all these people. So you're also getting like these kids from India that are like high level, come to the same schools. These are kids that are from rich neighborhoods in India, like Goa and these places. You're in the same class, so no one is even talking about parents.
You just want to be the best academically.
You want to be the best academically. So we didn't really start discovering ourselves. Honestly, my first boyfriend was Jamaican in Canada. I didn't even know where Jamaica was. Like,
poor soul.
That. Like, so we're not really concerned with like, oh, this man should treat me like this. You're just actually just trying to like.
You really don't know. So who taught you about relationships? Like, who showed you that example?
We know that we see movies and all this stuff. And we have
I want to forget about we. I want to know who taught you, Grace, who went to boarding school until the age of 18.
Honestly,
who taught you about relationships?
Curiosity and girlfriends, and like coming here. Tamika, actually my girl Meeks, when I was Eastern High School. And then one of my bestest friends, Ems and Kane, who are literally my brothers. So they were my first friends when I came to Canada. If you guys see my Instagram, I post about them a lot. And Philip was my next like guy friend. So I'm God kiss to his kids. So like being around these men, I've seen how they roll with women, and they protected me in a weird way. So no guy could come around and like mess with me per se.
Yeah, but in essence though, you were never shown it though. Like
I was never shown it.
That's what I'm thinking. Like that's wild. You go to boarding school till age 18,
and it's all girls school.
You come out, and it's like the world is like, what is this?
What is this?
And I find that even dating African men is the same issue. They don't see the interactions with their parents. So how can they be in a
lot of
relationship?
Yeah.
They know how to treat women, but like they don't see that interaction of like.
But how do they know how to treat women? How did you learn how to be in a relationship and treat a man?
Like how they treat each other.
Yeah.
And I think everybody learns how to be in a relationship in different ways, right? Remember, we're still exposed to television. We're still exposed to lifestyle. We're still exposed
to. There's so much shit on television.
But now there is. Like back in the day, there wasn't. Like a lot of traditional things were still like, at least from where we grew up.
There was some shit.
But there's one thing to actually see it and feel it with your own parents.
Yeah. Right.
Actually,
So how did that affect you? Like, you grew up with both parents.
That's why, maybe that's why I have a hard time finding a guy, because I look for what I see in my parents.
In your dad,
in my dad, and in my, like how my parents interact with each
versus
other.
someone like me, I have no bias and prejudice.
Exactly.
You are who you are. You present yourself as a man to who you are. Until you prove me wrong, I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm with my brothers, right? So I'm with my like older brothers or protectors. So I'm hanging out with them all the time. So they're also telling me the type of man I shouldn't date. They're also like making sure any guy that's around. Remember,
so
they're like
you
very
had
protective.
somebody to like whatever.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go to my brothers and stuff like that. And hanging out with them, like I didn't feel like I needed a man per se because I was around guys a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I needed to settle.
Everybody learns from something. That's why I wanted to ask you specifically, because it's like I know your experience. I know that you didn't.
What I will say is though, I will tell you my first when I lost my virginity and how that went down. I can tell you that and how that relationship transpired.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to share it in public, but I can tell you on the ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that will like help you understand per se. But maybe
because I'm in the same position. I'm in the same position as you, whereas I didn't necessarily grow up with a father in the home, but like for me, I was looked to my aunt and my uncle, who I lived with a brief period of time.
Okay.
They've been married now like 28 years or something, and the two of them, I swear to you, they're the best relationship I've ever had the privilege of seeing. Because
you're lucky, you got to.
They're like exactly, because I wonder, like people who don't have that example set and they don't grow up with a father in the home, like how do you even learn how to navigate a relationship? How do you know what I mean? Beyond
and
movies.
I think sometimes, so that's a good question actually. Very good question that you touched on that. But I think sometimes we think we need this experience to learn. Sometimes we forget that we are who we are. Like we are going through it in our own directory.
In a way, but
it
like
shapes you for who you are.
Right.
However, like you learn everything you know today, you've learned either through formal education or lived experience.
How about friends?
But friends
is
lived experience.
Yeah.
That's
I
lived experience as well.
Sometimes you could look at friends and see how.
And we can acknowledge friends as well as teachers.
The same way we acknowledge parents and stuff like that. Exactly. So sometimes I don't think you necessarily need like parent figures. So, and to the perfect example, like Karina and I are around the same age. I didn't grow up with a dad. She didn't grow up with a dad, but like we're both single. We're both searching the same thing. We're both looking for the same ideal man. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't, with absolutely no offense, I don't think. You know, I think there's this prejudice where people say, oh, you know, if you grew up as a single, I think maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I haven't met a guy that's made me like think twice about like liking guys. Like no matter how much I've been hurt, like I still think there's hope out there. I've still met amazing guys out there. Like, you know what I mean? Father, no father. And I'm sure for you too.
Yeah, of course.
No, but I'm just saying it is not to say that it takes away from who you are, but it shapes you differently when you have that in your household or you see it. But
what I will say
it doesn't make or break you though. It doesn't make or break you.
What I will say though, men that are in full-time relationships in terms of like they're very intentional and they want to get married and they're very serious about it and they actually pursue women intentionally wanting to marry them. A lot of these men have been in
single parents.
Both parents' households. I find men that haven't been with both parents' households are very hard. Like they find it hard to commit. They didn't have a father figure or whatnot. So love to them. They just had to be tough for the mom and the sisters and all that.
I find it the opposite. I find that guys that don't experience, they want the opposite for themselves.
They want that.
So they want to be there. I mean, there's obviously the one or two, but like they want to be there like their father wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
Or they want to be married because they want that household that they never had for their kids.
Like they want to create that.
With that.
Yeah,
like
but
they now want to create that.
Though. I mean,
so to speak on that though, maybe like my actual blood brother, like, you know, he wanted to be better. So he's married, like he's that perfect like family, like, you know what I mean? Like two boys and one other girl, like, you know, they're in the second house in Calgary, like they're married, right? They're in love. Like you see, like when they walk around the family dinners, they're like, hey sweets, like that African love. Like it's beautiful to see, like he's devoted to her. Like there's like no questions asked, like he's like doing it, like you can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't fault that. And my brother was like our dad to a family. So maybe that's influential to one way or another.
Well, yeah, you don't have to come from a household to be married or to, you know,
find the perfect relationship.
Yeah, or find the perfect
Of course not.
Yeah,
of course not. Because like I said, I came from a family with no male role model or dynamic in the house, and
your aunt and uncle were yours for you.
Yeah, it's just the examples.
Your aunt and uncle were your.
And my aunt and uncle, exactly. I lived with them for a brief period, and they lived like how I would want to live, and I'm like, that's admirable.
And for you, it's your parents and like, you know, you look up to them.
But everybody
and
in my family is pretty much married. Honestly, it's just like a few of us that
really,
really.
Everybody in my family, my grandparents, my aunties, my uncles, all of them are married.
Come to think about it, my aunts and uncles too.
They're all married, but it's a little bit. I feel it's a little bit more old school. Like the generations,
the traditions
have changed.
Yeah.
And now it's
are they happily married though?
Happily married, happily married.
All of them, eh?
I mean, they're still around. I mean,
no, just because they're there doesn't mean they're happily married.
Well, you know what? I don't see it, right? They all wouldn't know.
I feel like you, especially as kids, or like you as being kids and being around your family, you kind of tell. You kind of tell though, like a weird dynamic, or like
even at this adult age, you can kind of pick up like, yo, their relationship was kind of toxic,
right? But you feel like everybody is like good.
Everybody, like you don't get that energy and stuff.
They do everything together now, so.
Nice.
Well then, well, cheers to that.
Okay, cheers to that. I mean, I have no wine left to cheers to, but hey.
We'll just cheers in the air. But anyways, guys, again, like we're gonna wrap it up because we could just go into this. So we will be coming back with the same topic, attachment styles, and we'll be inviting a lot more guests, either expertise. We're looking to hire or invite more professionals in this industry when it comes to mental health traumas, and how people could get over that and how it could affect their relationships in the future right now and all the things. So thank you for staying tuned, and as usual, Nicole, take it away.
If you're not already following us on Instagram, go right on ahead and do that. It's 3-Way with NGK, number 3. Way with NGK. Grace is laughing at me. I really don't know why. Follow us on Instagram. The link in our bio will take you to all of the podcast platforms, including YouTube. So subscribe.